Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So today's video is about pros and cons of new construction. So with everything going on, lack of inventory because people aren't selling their houses because a lot of them have 3 to 4% interest rates and they're like, hey, I'm not selling my house. And the realtors are having a really hard time finding available inventory for what these people want. So a lot of people are turning to brand new construction because obviously the builder wants to sell all these. So if you could see, we are going through a new construction area in a place called Wesley Chapel. Bill, what's the average price on these houses around here?
Depends on which neighborhood you're going to go to. So specifically, this one's a 55 and up community, more geared towards, resort style living. And, so it's got community center, huge community center activities, activity director, things like that. Okay. And these are a little bit more on the higher price point, starting typically in this little section that we're in.
Yeah.
They vary, but you're talking in the 800s.
Well, yeah, because I'm taking a look at
these are huge
like that one, clay roof.
Yeah.
Block wood, possibly impact windows. Yeah, because this is Florida. They're building these to...
Yeah, so typically like these are going to have paver driveways and stuff, tile roofs, 2,500 square feet. Now there's another section here that has a much smaller footprint and they're, at a different price point. So just happens to be where this is the phase they're building right now.
So basically wherever you guys are in the country or in Canada, I'm sure there's neighborhoods like this too, because it is difficult to find the right house. But let's go over some pros and cons of new construction comparing to existing homes on the market. If you like this kind of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel, and hit the thumbs up so the word spreads. All right, Bill, give me the first pro of new construction, and what I'll do is I will give a negative in my opinion, but go ahead, give me a pro.
So with new construction, you get to customize to an extent what you want in your property. They have specific packages. Some builders will have a predetermined package A, B, and C as an example, or they'll have hey, you can pick this paint color. You can really start to get super customized on some of these properties. So it's a pro when you're building from scratch.
All right, so let me throw a con in there. The con is, from what I understand, from what I see, because I do a lot of brand new construction and do pre-wall inspections and when they're completed, but overall they seem a lot more expensive than existing homes. Is that true or false?
Again, it's going to depend on where you're going to go, but when you're looking at, let's say as an example, it is more expensive than maybe a post-construction.
Right, so I'm talking about upfront costs of buying the home.
Okay, from an upfront, yeah. So, well, but again, it kind of varies. So yeah, maybe you're paying a little bit more for the house, but you're also getting a brand new house versus a house that is, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 or longer years older, to where you're going to have the windows are older, even if they've been upgraded. Yeah. Pipes are older that are underground. You can't necessarily fix all those things.
I mean, look at my house. It's 19 years old, and look at all the money I had to put into my house to just update everything.
Exactly.
So I agree with you on that one. All right, so I just did a con, so let's go to another pro. All right, Bill, give me a pro. I'll give you a con after that.
All righty. So when you're doing new construction, you're going to have the latest, most up-to-date building codes and materials typically used in the new construction environment like this.
So that could translate into insurance savings.
It could, absolutely.
Absolutely. Like in Florida, they're going to make sure that you have the proper windows, you have straps,
right,
all that stuff.
And selecting a house like we're coming up on here, where you've got a hip roof on one side of the neighborhood, and then on the right side over here, this house has more of a gable.
Yeah, but you're talking about that. So basically, this is the house that Bill's talking about, if you guys could see it. So what they try to do in Florida is they put a gable on the ends of the houses, but they try to keep it less than 10% of the total perimeter of the house, because in order to get the HIP credit in Florida, you have to be at least 90% HIP, which is like a pyramid shape. So That's one of, the benefits of some of these houses.
Right.
All right, here's a negative one, Bill.
Okay.
So basically, you're buying a new construction house, and seems like there's always delays, because things happen, materials get delayed coming, or whatever. But what do you think about that one?
Right. With any project that starts from, the ground up, like we're across from right here, ground up, there's going to be delays. We're getting ready, as you can see. So we've got a lot is just getting the boards put in for the footers to be poured. But you can see in the distance here, we're about ready to get our typical afternoon Florida shower.
Right.
So you can't pour concrete when it's pouring down rain. So you're going to have rain delays and things like that. Now that's typically taken into consideration during your build times, so they know the average build time for these. But sometimes things happen. Getting materials is tough. If they get redirected from one area to another, it can slow the projects down. But lately, which is more typical to where we were, is they have a pretty good window of when the project's going to complete.
Okay, so if you're buying new construction, just don't plan on moving in right away. It could take 3 to 6 months to build the house.
Right, and if you want to buy new construction, since you hit that topic, they do have what's called quick move-in sales. So as a realtor, I get a list of the quick move-in sales that comes out daily for me. It's just whichever one particular property they're selling off. And what happens is sometimes the buyer of that property that contracted it to be constructed in this planned community had to not close on the house for whatever reason, and then now it's a new it's a quick sale because it's already pre-built, it's ready to go, and they want to get that off of their inventory. All
right, that's good to know.
So there's options.
So you can ask about those things. Here's a con that I can't really say for this particular neighborhood. You see these houses between us? Okay, see how spread out they are? There is some new construction sites that I've been to that the houses are pretty much 10 feet apart from each other. Literally, if you lay down and spread out, you could touch both houses at the same time.
Yeah.
So, Bill, I think that's a big con because they're trying to squeeze as much as they can into these neighborhoods so they can get the biggest bang for their buck.
Yeah, so I get it. So like this neighborhood in particular, this is why these are higher price point homes, because you have more land.
Yeah, the lots are bigger.
You have lots, you have some space, people want that. Now there's those communities like you mentioned. Some people like that style because it builds some more camaraderie, maybe makes them feel a little bit, while you're still in a suburban area, you're more, urban feel because you're a little bit closer to your neighbor, something like a big city where, like in Tampa as an example.
Do people actually like that?
I don't know.
I don't like that. I need some space.
I've never lived in a big city like that. I've always lived, Clearwater.
Oh, that's why I left New York, to get away from that stuff.
Right. One would think. Yeah. So that would be a foreign thing to me, but, there are people that do like that. There's a neighborhood in Trinity that is they have almost a 0 lot line, so it's very, very close.
Yeah, I've been in that neighborhood many times doing inspections.
And the people love it.
It was ridiculous. Basically, if somebody's walking between the houses and I'm walking between the houses, one of us has to move a little bit sideways to get past them.
Right.
All right, Bill, you have another pro?
Well, not only are you have the codes and everything else that's modern, you've also are going to have modern amenities. So meaning for this neighborhood, you've got your lights, you've got sidewalks, you've got green spaces. Just off in the distance, there is a space that, it's just a nature walk. They've got an amazing community center here. We've got a huge pool, pickleball, tennis.
For this neighborhood, but is that normal for all the neighborhoods?
Yeah, depending on where you go.
New constructions?
Pretty much every new construction neighborhood is going to have some sort of an amenity factor to it. Now, it's going to depend on the price points of the neighborhood as to how much of an amenity that you're going to go to, but most neighborhoods in the new construction realm, people want a pool.
Yeah, and I want to clarify something. We're not talking about custom homes that you buy a house and a piece of land someplace in the woods, and you hire a builder and you build on a custom home. Yes, you could consider a lot of these pros and cons for that too, but we're more talking about established neighborhoods that they're building houses just like this one.
Right, these are called planned communities. There's, depending on the size, this is in Wiregrass Ranch. So there's a new extension, there's a Publix, you know, there's a lot of different things that come into these, you know, planned community developments.
All right, so let me give you a con. So basically, I heard on new constructions, a lot less negotiable on price.
Absolutely.
They're
Hands
like,
down.
So they're like, this is the price.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be a short one. So
That's a short one, yes. Hands down, negotiating on price is not the strategy that you need to hit up when you come into a new construction area. They do that for a lot of reasons. One of it is to maintain the values of the properties here in the community. They don't want to have this property at this house at a price point, and then across the street, you know, you got them on a better day and you were a better negotiator or whatever, and you got it for a lower price point. So new construction, they have it planned out. It's pretty much what it is. Where you can get some incentives when it's more of a buyer's market, and what you want to do is look at upgrades, things like that. Just look at your upgrades, different tile, extending the tile, getting rid of carpet, putting in wood floors. That's where you could have a little bit of negotiating room to, you know, offset some of those costs.
all right, so let me go, so this video doesn't run too long. Let me go into another con. So one of the cons for me on a neighborhood like this is, say I buy this house behind us.
Okay.
I can't really picture what this whole area is going to look like when everything's done. I just can't. So basically landscaping, just, I can't get an idea of like the demographics, like, you know, like I'm talking about with trees and parks and how crowded it is.
What the aesthetics are going to be.
Yeah, aesthetics, yeah. What do you think?
Well, like with anything, the builder is not going to put in mature trees, and they're going to have to mature. You could go with an option to that if you want to get an idea what this is going to look like. You know, look at the trees that they have around here, and then you could go across the street and look at a neighborhood that's been around for maybe 10 years and see what those trees look like, because they're kind of all the same. So you get a feel for what it's going to be. You know, lined with streets, but that takes time. So it's kind of go with this is what you see is what you get.
Right. So basically, I mean, that's some of my cons, you know, with new construction. Basically, like you know, cost, not knowing what's going to be like. You know, some homes are built really close together. You know, those are some of my biggest cons and stuff. But right now, with the market, when people want homes that are good quality, there's a lot of junk out there.
Yeah, there is. You know, the options with those price points or those types of houses is, you know, like a renovation loan. If you wanted to go down that route to renovate the house, we've talked on that before.
Yeah.
You know, but another pro here is, you know, typically you have a little bit more leverage on rates right now because the builders have deals worked out with, you know, the banks because of such volume.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So anyways, that's everything I got for today. That's today's video. I appreciate it very much. Consider subscribing. Do you have anything to close?
That's it. Just if you need anything, feel free to give us a call and we can point you in the right direction.
All right. Think about new construction if you can't find that perfect house out there. Talk to you later. Thank you.
See you on the next video. Thanks.
Bye.